Here on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association, I'm joined by men's head soccer coach Tom Martin. Coach, tough week for you guys, pair of 2-1 losses. Your thoughts on these last two matches against Drexel and Hofstra?
Tough losses for us. I wish we were at full strength, but that's the nature of the game for everybody this year. We've lost some kids to injuries, as everybody has, and it's time for the next guys to step up. But to your original point, that's the way the CAA is on our side. Every game's a game. There's so much parity. It's going to probably come down to the last game or two games at the outside to see who gets in the tournament. You know, we only get the top six into the tournament, and it's a fight for points, and it's all still out there for everybody to gain or to lose.
4 games to go in the season. The stretch run starts tomorrow night at home against College of Charleston. Continues Sunday afternoon at first place Elon, the newcomers, first place. Your thoughts on these next 2 games? How important is it to, if not pull a win, at least pull a result in order to move forward into those last 2 games to help get into those top 6 teams?
Well, what it is, and you're exactly right, Andy, you don't want to put it all into the last game. And sometimes it's out of your control. But if we can manage to get some points in the next 2 or 3 games, it won't be down to the last game, and that's the mission. You know, we'll change a couple things around with our personnel situation right now for tomorrow night, but Charleston is a very strong team. They beat us last year 2-1, a heavy international team. Ralph Lundy's been coaching almost as long as I have. I mean, I think he's a very good person and a very good coach. They'll be well prepared, and they've got some things that they do that on paper look very favorable against us. So that'll be a tough game to get points. And then Elon, it's a Sunday game because it's been moved because of football, which actually is a little bit better maybe for us. We don't miss any class time. We get on the road Saturday rather than Friday. But Elon's been an NCAA team the last couple of years. They're a very, very good team. Unfortunately, our draw is to play them away. But in all fairness, we've had pretty good success on the road. So we're not going to look at that game and be in awe as to how they may look on paper and roster-wise in past history. We've seemed to be pretty good road warriors this year, and hopefully we can carry that into the rest of the season. But again, it's just going to be a dogfight from here on in, as it's been the last 2 weeks. You know, everybody adopts different kind of philosophies with our conference being as strong as it is. Some people play very difficult schedules like we do out of conference to hopefully get you ready. Some people play very light schedules to help your record, but at the same time maybe not have games which are as demanding or as physical, and it saves you in terms of fatigue, in terms of injuries. Most of the CAA people favor good out-of-conference schedules, and the RPIs are good because of that. And now it just comes down to trying a way to get points, find a way to get those points. And sometimes a draw is not a bad thing, you know, depending on where it shakes out, because some teams will be left out that are just as good as teams that get in on the men's side, and it's just the way it is. You know, sometimes soccer's it's a harsh game. It can be a cruel game to you. You know, our game against Hofstra, which I think is the best team in the conference and the best talent in the conference, they had the win, which had a little bit to do with it in the first half. Not much. We had it in the second half, but it was a game of 2 halves. We didn't match their intensity. We didn't match the physicality of their game in the first half. Whether it was a win or not, who knows? Different philosophies on how you want to deal with that. Do you want to go against it? You want to go with it early on? We were against it, which did bode well for us in the second half. I think it helped us a little bit, but we raised our aggressive level. We were pressuring the ball. We were getting forward, playing a little bit more direct. And one of those games, we lost a very close game, and I think if we had 10 more minutes, we probably could have equalized. The momentum was in our favor, but that wasn't meant to be. Drexel was a little bit different. We played in a nightmare of weather situations with a lightning delay, and we came back, and then we lost Joe Viner to a bad injury, and we already lost a couple people to injuries, and it was a game we just couldn't get any rhythm. You know, it was a game devoid of rhythm for both teams, and a lot of that was due to the playing surface and to the weather. But hopefully now we're playing on our field. The game will have a little more rhythm to it, rhythm that we like, and be able to keep the ball a little bit more. And then we get out to Elon, which is a good field and an excellent team. So I think it bodes well for 2 good soccer games.
Tomorrow night, Charleston struggled a little bit this year. They're coming in with a 2-8-2 record. They haven't won a game in a while. How important is it going to be to rebound from these last 2 games?
Well, any game right now is a game to rebound. They're all rebound games because everybody's taking turns beating or tying other teams. Everybody would like 3 points from a game, but it hasn't worked out that way. Tons of ties, tons of overtime games. Charleston is a very good team with a not very good record. And in soccer, that's pretty easy to understand when you see the level of parity across the country. I have preached to our kids for the last few days, don't be deceived by records. You know, this was a team that was struggling last year and ended up beating us on the road as well. And we know they have talented players. They've had their rhythm up and down. They've been pretty healthy from what I can understand from box scores. So I would expect us to get a very good team that could be deceiving by a lot of people. Soccer is a sport that maybe more than most sports, you just can't go by records. And I think that's because of parity. We're a team right now that doesn't have the most outstanding record, but it's a team that people really kind of don't want to play because they know that the potential is there, and we've had some good results. So it all comes down to games right about now are grinders. They're not going to be aesthetically nice. They're not going to be pretty. They're not going to be wide open. People are going to be a little more conservative because it's all about the points.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Charleston does come to University Park for the Dukes go to the Phoenix of Elon Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Always my pleasure.